Meyer Lansky had one problem that no amount of intelligence could fully solve. Cash is visible. It weighs something. It takes up space. Move enough of it across enough borders, and someone eventually notices. The Swiss banking system gave him a partial solution, a legal wall built from another country's statutes, behind which money could sit without being touched. But the money still had to get there. Getting it there required physical movement, human intermediaries, relationships that could be compromised, trails that could be followed by someone patient enough. He spent 60 years solving this problem with the tools available to him. He was very good at it. He never fully solved it. In October of 2008, 25 years after Lansky died, a person or group operating under the name Satoshi Nakamoto published a document describing a system for electronic transactions that required no trusted intermediary, left no centralized record, and was, in its design, impossible to censor or control by any government. The document was called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Lansky would have recognized immediately what had been invented. Not as a technology, he was not a technologist, but as a solution to the problem he had spent 60 years working around, a form of money that moves without physical presence, that crosses borders without customs declarations, that exists in a distributed ledger that no single government controls and no single court can subpoena, that can be sent from anywhere to anywhere, instantly, by anyone with access to a computer. This was not what Satoshi Nakamoto intended to create. The cypherpunk community that birthed Bitcoin was motivated by privacy, by distrust of centralized financial institutions, by the philosophical conviction that individuals should control their own money without requiring the permission of banks or governments. These are legitimate motivations. The system they created is genuinely remarkable and has generated genuine financial innovation. It also solved Meyer Lansky's problem. The scale at which cryptocurrency is used for money laundering and the movement of criminal proceeds is not speculation. In 2023, approximately $24 billion in cryptocurrency was received by wallets associated with illicit activity. The specific techniques have evolved considerably from what Lansky used, but the underlying logic is identical. The goal is the same: convert proceeds of criminal activity into a form that appears legitimate and cannot be traced back to its origin. The most basic technique is the cryptocurrency mixer, a service that pools transactions from multiple users and redistributes them in ways that break the connection between the sending wallet and the receiving wallet. Money enters the mixer from one direction, money exits from another, and the connection between the two has been deliberately obscured. This is the casino scheme, translated into cryptographic form. The principle is unchanged. The implementation requires no Swiss banker, no Caribbean law firm, no physical cash crossing any border. It requires an internet connection and a cryptocurrency wallet. More sophisticated techniques use chains of transactions across multiple cryptocurrencies and multiple blockchain networks. Converting Bitcoin to Ethereum, to a privacy coin to another cryptocurrency, each conversion potentially in a different jurisdiction. The final result, a pool of funds whose origin is effectively impossible to trace. This is the offshore shell corporation chain, implemented in software rather than in corporate law. The principle is unchanged. The implementation is faster, cheaper, and accessible to anyone with a smartphone. The cases that have drawn the most regulatory attention illuminate the scale of what is happening. The Lazarus Group, a North Korean, state-sponsored hacking organization, has stolen billions of dollars in cryptocurrency from exchanges and used mixing and obfuscation techniques to convert those proceeds into usable funds. The United States Treasury estimates that North Korea has stolen over $3 billion in cryptocurrency since 2017, using the proceeds to fund its weapons programs. This is state-level money laundering at a scale that Lansky could not have imagined, using techniques that are direct descendants of the methods he pioneered. The darknet markets represent another dimension of the same problem. Silk Road, shut down by the FBI in 2013, processed over $1 billion in transactions during its operational period. Its successors have processed considerably more. The cryptocurrency flows through these markets trace the same path, through the same logic, that Lansky's money followed through the Bahamas and Switzerland. The criminal users of cryptocurrency are not primarily sophisticated state actors. They are also ordinary criminals who have learned that crypto offers a level of financial privacy that was previously available only to people with the resources to access Lansky's offshore system. Drug dealers operating through darknet markets, ransomware operators who encrypt corporate systems and demand payment in Bitcoin, romance scammers who extract money from victims and immediately convert it to cryptocurrency to prevent recovery. The democratization of the offshore financial system that Lansky pioneered has proceeded in the cryptocurrency era. To its logical conclusion, the tools that once required international banking relationships and teams of lawyers are now available as a smartphone app. This does not mean that cryptocurrency is untraceable. It is not. The public nature of most blockchain ledgers means that every transaction is permanently recorded, which creates, paradoxically, a better evidentiary record than Lansky ever had to contend with. The FBI could not subpoena a Swiss bank in 1965. The FBI can read the Bitcoin blockchain in 2024. What they cannot always do is connect the pseudonymous wallet addresses in that blockchain to the actual people who control them. The blockchain analytics industry, companies like Chainalysis, Elliptic, and TRM Labs exist specifically to make those connections. They are, in a meaningful sense, doing what the FBI agents who watched Lansky from parked cars across Collins Avenue were doing, trying to connect a visible financial record to an invisible person. The FBI agents never quite managed it. The blockchain analytics firms have had more success, but the arms race between tracing technology and obfuscation technology is ongoing. Lansky built his system with handshakes and hotel rooms and Swiss bank accounts. The people who have inherited his problem, how to move money invisibly, how to convert criminal proceeds into something usable, how to stay ahead of the investigators, have built their systems with cryptographic protocols and privacy coins that are, by mathematical design, extraordinarily difficult to trace. The problem is the same. The solutions have evolved. The investigators are still, more often than not, one step behind. Lansky never heard of Bitcoin. He died 5 years before the internet existed in any form he would have recognized. But the problem he spent his career solving, the fundamental tension between the desire to move value without leaving a trail and the desire of governments to know where the money goes, is the same problem that the cryptocurrency ecosystem is navigating today, at a scale and with a technical sophistication that would have astonished him. He would have recognized the problem immediately. He spent 60 years on it. He never fully solved it. The people who came after him, with better tools, are still working on the same solution.